April 13th, 2020, COVID just hit. The stock market crashed 30% in a matter of weeks. Everyone's panicking. I had some extra cash sitting around, money that I didn't need for a while, and all I could think was, this is a sale of a lifetime. I was a bit scared the market might never rebound, but I was more excited about getting stocks for cheap, so I bought. $2,000 here, $4,000 there. Over the next few years, I invested almost $50,000. Then, I forgot about it. And when I finally checked in 2025, that $48,000 had turned into $82,000. Although I made money in the COVID crash, I still lost out on thousands that I should have earned. Here's the blueprint I wish someone gave me before the market collapsed. Here's what most people get wrong about investing. They think the biggest danger is a market crash. My mom and I used to think the same way, but it's false. The biggest danger is being out of the market. Peter Lynch, one of the greatest investors of all time, said, "The key to making money in equities is to not get scared out of them." We need to see and expect the patterns in the market. No matter how bad a crash is, the US economy has always recovered. They're like storms. Storms come, they're scary, but we know they'll always pass, and the sun will come out once again. Let's dive deeper into these market patterns so you don't get caught off guard and do the wrong things at the wrong time and lose your rent money. There are two types of storms: corrections and bear markets. A correction is when a market falls more than 10% from its peak. These happen once a year on average. Since 1900, we've had almost one every single year. They're routine and part of the game. On average, they last less than 2 months. Here's the other important thing to know. Only 1 in 5 of them turn into bear markets. A bear market is when it falls more than 20%. That means 4 out of 5 times when the market drops 10%, it will bounce right back. If you panic and sell during these drops, you might be doing so right before the market rebounds. You're selling low and missing the recovery. At the time, I didn't know the exact statistics behind corrections and bear markets, but I had a gut feeling that things would work out. On April 2020, I bought my first shares since the COVID crash. Then, I kept buying. July 2021, September 2021, February 2022, but unfortunately, my gut feeling also failed me and lost over $10,000 in potential profits. How? During these crazy years, I was waiting for it to drop more. I had another $10,000 to $20,000 sitting on the sidelines. I kept thinking, it'll go lower, I'll wait. But the market rebounded so hard that it gave me a whiplash. I missed out on even bigger gains because I was trying to time the bottom. The lesson? Don't try to time the bottom. Luckily, I didn't wait with all of my money. Could you imagine if I just sat on $50,000 waiting for it to hit rock bottom? 5 years later, I would still be waiting. After February 2023, when COVID was pretty much over, I stopped checking for a while, but I still continued buying whenever I had extra cash. Anyways, it wasn't until I started making this video in 2025 that I actually checked how much I profited from the COVID investments I made. From 2020 to 2023, I invested $48,000. And they're now worth $82,000. 70% gain, and I did basically nothing. You might be wondering, how could you be so sure that the market would rebound when the world seems to be ending? I stepped back and looked at the whole picture. Over time, the US economy expands. American companies become more profitable, workers become more efficient, the population grows, and technology drives innovation. If you bet on the market as a whole, instead of 1 or 2 companies, you're almost guaranteed to make money in the long run. Remember, market crashes aren't the danger. Sitting on the sidelines is. But you have to realize the patterns. Bear markets eventually become bull markets. Pessimism eventually becomes optimism. And what's the most pessimistic? That's a sign that good times are right around the corner. Now, if you're still worried about market crashes, I have good news. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio designed a portfolio specifically to handle market storms and mitigate your losses, so you stay in the market long term. In this next video, I'll break down everything that's inside his portfolio. If this video helped, subscribe so you don't miss my future videos.